Good evening everybody. Today I am going to discuss about the input-output statements in C language. Now first of all, what are the input functions we have? So input-output functions are of two types. One is unformatted input-output functions, another is formatted input-output function. Now what is meant by unformatted? What is meant by formatted? First of all, we'll discuss about the unformatted. Unformatted is nothing but there is no formation for these output input statements. Now here we have input statements are get C, get char, get S, put C, put char, put S. Now these are the input functions to get the strings or characters from the keyboard. These are the output functions which are going to print the characters or strings on the output devices. Now in the formatted input-output functions, we have input function as scanf, output function as printf. Now fscanf, fprintf are used in files. Now we are going to discuss about the unformatted input-output functions first. Now first thing, getChar and putChar or the functions are used to, here look at here, getChar function reads a character. Char we are saying here, that means it gets a character from the keyboard, that is of integer, character from the terminal, and returns it as an integer. This function reads only a single character at a time. You can use this method in a loop in case if you want to read more than one character. For example, if I want to print A, now we can use getChar function. If I want to print Bhargavi, so you cannot suppose to use getChar directly. Now Bhargavi contains of multiple characters. You should enclose this getChar function in a loop. Now what is meant by loop, we will see in the upcoming videos. Now putChar is a function which is used to display the character which is taken from the keyboard to the users with the help of the putChar character function. So getChar is to get the value, that is only one character. Similar manner, putChar is a function which is used to display the output on the output devices of only one character. If you want to print multiple characters, similarly we should enclose that in a loop. Understood? GetChar is used to get the one character, putChar is used to display the one character. If you want to accept multiple characters from the keyboard, we should enclose that in a loop. If you want to print multiple characters to the output, we should enclose putChar in a loop. Now this is about getChar and putChar functions. Now next we'll see, wait a minute. Now gets and puts function. Now getChar and putChar, the functions which are you going to use for only single character, whereas gets and puts are the functions which are used to specify multiple characters. So gets is a function which is used to get the multiple characters, right? Now whereas put is a character which is used to print the multiple characters to the string. That means we call it as a string. So this gets function is available in stdin standard input header file. Puts function will be available in standard output header file. In the last program, we already discussed about stdio.h, that means standard input output header file. The respected files of these also will be available for gets and puts. Next we will discuss about the formatted output function. Now in the last sample program, we have discussed what is meant by printf. Now what is the use of printf? Now printf is a function which will be prints the output on the output devices. Normally printf has two types of syntaxes. One is printf directly enclose the message in the double quotes and semicolon. Already we discussed that in the last program. Now printf has one more syntax, that is printf control string, comma variable 1, comma variable 2, comma variable so on n. That means how many number of variables you want to print, you have to specify here. Now come back to the control string. What is mean by control string? Control strings are specifies it nothing but it depends upon the data type of the variable we are specifying here. For example, I want to print integer value. First control string should be integer. If you want to print float value as a variable too, you have to specify percentile f. That means according to the type of the variable and serial of the variables, we should write the control strings here. First read is integer, then float, then character. So first write percentile d, percentile f, percentile s. For example, if you consider all threes are of integer, for example consider all are of three of integer type, then what we'll do? Only 3 times percentile d we should write as a control strings. How many number of variables are there? That many control strings we should specify in the printf statement. Next we'll discuss about the formatted input statement. Now what is a formatted input statement? That is a function of scanf. Normally what is mean by scan? Normally we'll send camera scan, scan camera. What is mean by scanning? It is getting the data from the paper. Now we say when we are applying for some scholarships, what we'll do? We'll scan our memos. That means the scanner is an input device which gets the data from your memo or from a paper. Similarly, here scanf is an input function which is used to get the data from the input devices. Now first we see the syntax of the scanf. Scanf, format control string and input data list. That means how many number of inputs you want to write. Specify the number of inputs with the ampersandile. That means this symbol is used for address operator. Normally we call AND operator, we call it as a address operator. Now format control string is what? In the printf we already seen format specifiers. That means in which order you are taking input, in that order only you have to specify the format control strings. Consider here an example. I want to accept two numbers, number 1 and number 2. Now this number 1 and number 2 of integer type. Consider now percentile d and percentile d. That means this is an integer which is related to this number 1. This percentile d is one more integer which is related to this. Now order should be same. Format specifiers and list of orders should be same. Otherwise it will give you the wrong output. Next we'll discuss format specifiers. So what is a format specifiers? Now we already seen format specifiers should be specified in the printf and scanf statements. Now for integers it would be the percentile d. For short integer it will be percentile d. Short unsigned integer percentile u. For long ld, long assigned lu. Hexadecimal x, long hexadecimal lx. Octal o, long octal lo. For float and double percentile f, percentile lf we should write. For characters percentile c we have to specify. Now I am showing a sample for printf and scanf. For example, consider here I am having a program just to accept two numbers and just I am printing the numbers. Now first I am specifying integer as a. That means a is a integer. Now float b is of float type. That means it is an integer value, it is a floating value. I am clearing the previous screen. I am showing a message to the user. Enter a number for a and b. Now this is a simple message of printf. Here we are not going to print any value of a variable. It is a simple message. So every simple message should be enclosed in the double quotes of the printf statement. This is a first syntax of printf. Next scanf. Now in scanf what you are accepting? You are accepting one integer and you are accepting one float value. So ampersand a, ampersand b. So this is of integer type, this is of float type. So scanf integer and float, that to be of a and b. Now I want to print the values which are entered by user. Now up to this part is user message, then format specifier, this is also a user message, then the variable. Now simple message this one, and this is the format of B. Now how many format specifiers we are specifying here? one is A, one is A, one is B. That means one is 1 percentile D, this is one more percentile F. Now this percentile D for A and this percentile B for percentile F for B. That means this percentile is related to A, this percentile F is related to B. So percentile D for integer value, percentile F for float value. So this is a way of representation of printf and scanf statements. Now we'll see the printf and scanf statements with a demonstration in the Turbo C++. Now just double click on the Turbo C++. Now take the file and a new file. Now to maximize this, press F5 button. Now whatever the program now I explained as printf and scanf statements, now I am writing the same program. Now what is the first statement? First statement is a documentation section. Printing of A and B. Now what is the next statement? Hash include stdio.h. Next hash include conio.h. Next void main. So there is no global declaration, no definition section, directly void main. So why to specify void over here? We are writing the C program in C++ editor, and C++ editor must and should have void as a main function. Now I am taking integer A value, I am taking float B value. Now I am clearing the previous screen. Now ask the user to enter two numbers. Enter A value and B value, and I am closing. Now what is a scanf? Now first of all we are accepting integer value, so we have to write percentile D. Next we have to accept float value, so percentile F, and I am closing the semicolon format specifiers, comma. Now first modulus of D is related to value of A and modulus of B is related to float value. Now print those values back to the user. Printf values of A and A equals to, now after A you want to print the value of A. So where you want to print the value of A, there you should specify the format specifier. And B equals to, and you have to specify modulus of F. Why? Because it is a float type. Now what values you have to write there? B. Now get ch, and I am closing this and close this. Now after this, save the program, Alt F, save the program. I am saving this as a program of IO, so program IO.c I am saving. Okay. Now after the next step is what? Compile a program. So no errors, success any key, Alt R, run. Now I am giving the A value as 10, B value as 20.5. Why? Because it is a floating value. That means pointed values. Now values of A is 10 and values of B is this. Now it is showing extra 000 values. We are declaring it as a float value. Up to 4 or 5 decimals it will consider as a float value. Now what is mean by that? Here wherever you are including modulus of T, modulus of F, there only it puts the values of A and B. For example, in the same program I am specifying, I am removing here equals to. just I am removing, A, and I just am giving some space. Here also I'm giving A, removing B, space. Now look at the previous output and present output. Compile, run. I am giving the values as 10 and 20.5 I am giving. See, here the equals to is not there. That means wherever you specify modulus of D, there the value of A will be printed. Wherever you specify modulus of F, there the value of B is printed. Now this is a sample program of input-output statements. Now we'll see some other program which is very simple for the students. That is, we accept the student name and we display the numbers. That means student marks and name will accept and will calculate and display the result. So hash include stdio.h, hash include onio.h. So for every program, first of all, we need to have a glance of the question right properly. For example, what I want to do in this program, I want a name of the student and for example marks 1, marks 2 of the students. So these are the inputs we need. What the calculation we need? We need the calculation. So what are the inputs? What are the data types of the inputs? First we need to understand. Here what is the data in input we need? We need name, we need marks, marks 2. So these marks are generally 50, 60, 70, 80. So these are the numbers of integer type. So name is of string type. So first of all, we know only the thing that we have to know the data types. So integer, so m1, m2 as integer, having character as the name. So it is having multiple characters. So I am declaring as this. Now clear the previous screen. Now ask the user to enter the name. Enter name, comma, m1, comma, m2. Now how many strings we are asking now? We are asking name, m1, m2. So in scanf, first we are accepting name. So that is of string type. Next we are accepting integer. That is of modulus of t. Next we are accepting one more integer. Now first thing for name. Next we are accepting next we are accepting integer. Next we are accepting integer. Now S for string, D for integer, D for integer. Now what more variables we need? I want to do the total. So I want to do total. So where initialization should be done in C at the first only. Now total is equals to what? m1 plus m2. I want to display this result back to the user. What I want to display? I want to display just name equals to. So what the name? It should be of percentile S. Now marks 1 equals to percentile of D, marks 2 equals to percent of D. Now I want to display total equals to percentile of D, comma. Now first what you are printing? We are printing first name, then m1 marks, then m2 marks, then total, and I am closing this. Now get ch. Now first compile a program. What error we have? Unable to include. Sorry. Here we have a error stdio.h. Now compile, success, no errors. Now run. Now I am giving A.Bhargavi, I am giving 80 and 90 as marks. So it is displaying name, marks 1, marks 2 and the total. Now one thing everyone must and should understood, normally what the students will do, here we are writing TOT as a variable, but here we are writing total completely here. That means whatever you enclose in these double quotes, that may be of your wish. You can write marks 1 completely, marks 2 completely, total completely, but these variables should be something like that, whatever the variables you declared over here. So the declaration of variables here and here should be same. So this means that this is a personal. This means whatever you are interested, you may declare. You can declare total of the marks of the student also, you can write. But here the variable declaration should be same as here. Now this completes the first input output statements programs. Thank you for watching my videos. If you like this video, share my videos and subscribe to my channel. In the next class, we'll discuss about the if statements and for loops and while loops.